It was a quiet night in the small town of Willow Creek. The streets were empty, the wind moved softly through the trees, and most humans were asleep, unaware of the universe beyond their sky. Among them lived Adrian, a young man who had always thought life was ordinary. He worked a regular job, came home to his small apartment, and spent his evenings reading books or watching old movies. He liked things simple, predictable, safe. But tonight, everything would change. Adrian was sitting on his worn-out couch, sipping a cup of tea when a soft hum filled the air. At first, he thought it was the old refrigerator or maybe a plane flying high above. But then the hum grew louder. The room seemed to vibrate slightly, as if the air itself was alive. He froze, staring at the window. Outside, the night sky was no longer empty. A massive, elegant ship hovered above his neighborhood. Its surface shimmered like liquid silver, reflecting the lights of the town below. The shape was unlike anything humans had ever seen: smooth curves, impossible angles, and a glow that seemed almost alive. The hum of its presence was not threatening, it felt familiar. Adrian rubbed his eyes. Maybe he was imagining it. But when he looked again, the ship remained, suspended silently above his apartment. Then he heard it, a voice. It was soft, melodic, and unlike any human voice he had ever heard, yet it spoke directly into his mind. "Adrian, I missed you so much. Can you hear me?" His heart skipped a beat. He was alone, wasn't he? And yet somehow the voice reached him, clear as day. Who are you?" he whispered aloud, though he had no idea if the being could hear his words. "I am the one who should have never left," the voice replied, tinged with emotion. "I am the queen, and I have come for you." Adrian stumbled back from the window. His mind raced. The queen, for him. He had read about aliens in old sci-fi novels, heard stories from conspiracy theorists, and seen countless movies about invasions. But this was not an invasion. There was no fire, no threat, no lasers, just a voice filled with longing. The ship's surface rippled, and a door, or something like a door, opened. A figure stepped out. She was taller than any human, her skin a soft, silvery hue that shimmered under the streetlights. Her eyes were deep, glowing like stars, yet full of warmth. She moved with grace, almost floating as she descended toward the street. Adrian wanted to run. Every instinct told him to grab his keys, lock the door, and hide. But his feet felt rooted. His mind couldn't move away from her presence. "Do not be afraid," she said, her voice again echoing in his mind. "I have not come to harm you, I have come to bring you home." The words puzzled him. "Home," he muttered. "This is my home. I live here. "You are still human," she interrupted gently, "but that is why I need you. I once called the stars my home, but I was lost until you found me, and now I have come back for you." Adrian blinked, trying to make sense of what she was saying. You know me." She smiled, a faint curve that held centuries of experience and yet something tender, almost vulnerable. "I know you, Adrian. I have never forgotten you. When my empire fell, when my people doubted me, it was your kindness that saved me. You gave me something no one else could, hope." Adrian's mind spun. This had to be some hallucination. He must have been too tired, too lonely. He pinched himself. The queen remained, unaffected, standing on the street like a goddess come to walk among mortals. "You saved you." "Me how?" His voice trembled. "You were human," she said simply. "And that is why you succeeded where others failed. You did not fight me with weapons. You did not manipulate me with power. You simply understood me. You listened. You cared. That small act changed everything." The memory was hazy even to Adrian. He had no idea what she was talking about, but he felt it in his chest, a strange pull, a connection he could not explain. The queen extended her hand toward him. Her fingers shimmered like light flowing across water. "Come with me," she said. "I have traveled across the galaxy, facing worlds that would terrify you, yet all of it was incomplete until I found you again. You belong with me. Let us return." Adrian shook his head. "I can't. I'm just a person. I don't belong anywhere else. And I have a life here." "You are more than you know," she said softly. "Humans are underestimated. Your kind is underestimated. You have a strength no empire, no weapon, no alien force can replicate. That is why I need you not as a ruler, not as a soldier, but as yourself." He felt a shiver run down his spine. Was this real? Could a single human truly mean something to an entire alien empire? He wanted to laugh at the absurdity, yet his heart beat faster at the thought. I don't even understand," he admitted. "Why me? Why now?" She stepped closer, and though her form was alien, there was a familiarity in her presence, a warmth that felt like home. "Because the galaxy changed when you helped me once. I have watched civilizations rise and fall. I have seen empires crumble. But no one has ever inspired me like you did." Adrian's thoughts swirled. He thought of his ordinary life, his small apartment, the quiet streets, his simple routines. How could any of that matter to the galaxy? And yet, standing in front of him was proof that it did. You want me to leave Earth?" he asked finally, just like that. "I do not ask you," she said, tilting her head slightly as if studying him. "I do not demand, I offer. But know this, I cannot return to the stars without you. You are the reason I survived. You are the reason my empire endured, and I cannot be complete without you." Adrian stared at her, speechless. No one had ever looked at him like that, ever. It was not admiration, not authority, it was recognition. The kind that pierced through years of doubt, loneliness, and insignificance. Why me?" he whispered. "Because you are human," she said simply, "and humans are stronger than anyone believes." The hum of her ship grew louder, the light around her form shimmering brighter. Adrian could feel it vibrating in his bones, pulling at something deep inside him, a longing he did not know existed. He remembered the stories humans told about aliens, invaders, conquerors, merciless beings. But the Queen was none of that. She did not demand. She did not threaten, she only wanted. And for reasons he could not explain, Adrian wanted her too. He thought about his life on Earth, small, ordinary, safe. And then he thought about what she represented. The stars, the unknown adventure, the chance to matter on a scale he could never imagine. I need to think," he said finally. "Take your time," she said, her voice calm but insistent. "I have waited for you once. I can wait a little longer, but remember, the universe does not wait forever." Adrian nodded, though he felt the weight of the moment pressing on him. He was about to make a choice that could change everything, not just his life, but the lives of countless beings across the galaxy. The Queen smiled, a faint glow in her eyes. "I will be here," she said, "and when you are ready, we will go home." As she stepped back, the shimmering ship behind her began to descend. The street lights flickered in response to its presence, and a soft wind rustled through the trees. Adrian could hear it, smell it, feel it, the promise of a future that was anything but ordinary. He watched as the alien queen disappeared into the ship, leaving behind only a lingering warmth in the night air and a sense that his life would never be the same. And for the first time, Adrian realized something. Humans were never meant to stay in one place. Humans were meant to change the universe. He did not yet know how, he did not yet know why, but one thing was certain: the stars were calling and a queen had come to guide him. The morning after the queen's arrival, Adrian could hardly sleep. The memory of her voice, her presence, and her glowing eyes stayed with him. He sat by the window, staring at the empty sky, wondering if it had all been a dream. But then a soft hum returned, familiar and comforting. The ship hovered silently above the town again. He did not move. He did not need to. He knew she was waiting for him. Minutes later, the queen appeared on the balcony, her form radiant in the morning light. She did not speak at first. She only looked at him with eyes full of history, regret, and hope. Finally, she spoke. "You are awake, good. There is something you must understand, Adrian. Something that may change the way you see yourself and humanity." Adrian swallowed hard. I still don't understand. Why me? I'm just a human. I have no power, no training, no special skill. I'm ordinary." She shook her head. No, you are not ordinary. Ordinary humans survive on Earth, yes, but extraordinary humans, they inspire change. They shift destinies. They are underestimated by everyone, even themselves. Adrian felt a shiver run down his spine. What do you mean? How could I inspire change? The Queen's voice softened. Do you remember me? He frowned. Of course, I think, but I don't understand. How could I know you? Her eyes glowed a little brighter. Long ago, when my empire was young, I was vulnerable. My enemies surrounded me, my allies doubted me, and my advisors turned against me. I had no army, no weapon, no plan. I was lost. Adrian's curiosity stirred. And I helped you. Yes, she said with a faint smile. You were the one human I encountered in a time of despair. You were kind, you listened, you spoke honestly. You treated me like a being, not a ruler, not a god, not a threat. And in that moment you gave me something that no army, no empire, no weapon could: hope. Adrian blinked. He remembered little of that time. He had been younger then, working on a research project, exploring human psychology, nothing more. And yet he had felt compelled to act, to offer comfort to someone who seemed beyond help. I don't even remember, he admitted. I mean, I didn't do anything special. I just talked to you. The Queen's eyes softened further. And that was enough. You see, humans have a unique gift. Your kind is underestimated by most of the galaxy. You lack enormous weapons, you do not have sprawling fleets, and yet you possess something far stronger: empathy, courage, and creativity. You can inspire loyalty without fear, trust without command, and hope without obligation. That is why I survived. That is why my empire endured. Because of you, Adrian. Adrian felt a mix of pride and disbelief. How could a simple act of kindness matter so much in the vast galaxy? He had never thought of himself as important. He had never thought humans could influence alien civilizations or entire empires. You, you mean to say humans could really make a difference in the galaxy? He asked. Yes, she said firmly. Your people are underestimated because no one has taken the time to see what you can do. Humans are adaptable, creative, and resilient. You can survive impossible situations, find solutions where others fail, and form connections where others see only conflict. You changed my life, and you have the power to change the galaxy if you choose to. Adrian was silent. He had always felt small, invisible, ordinary, and yet here was proof that even a single human could alter the fate of an empire. The Queen stepped closer. I did not come to Earth to conquer. I did not come to rule. I came to find you. The galaxy is shifting. There are forces that seek to control, to dominate, to destroy. But I cannot face them alone. I need someone who can see what others cannot. Someone who can inspire like you did. He shook his head. I don't belong in space. I don't know their rules. I don't know how to command anyone or fight or survive out there. Then do not command, she said softly. Do not fight, do not survive. Simply be yourself. That is enough. Adrian thought about Earth. His small apartment, his quiet streets, his life of routine. And yet, the thought of seeing the stars, of helping someone who had once trusted him completely, filled him with an excitement he could not ignore. The Queen continued. You see, Adrian, the galaxy misunderstands humans. It fears your unpredictability. It fears your compassion. It fears your courage. And that is why you are needed now. The galaxy will not wait for us. Forces are moving, preparing, watching. If we act too late, everything we know could be lost. Adrian shivered at her words. The weight of responsibility pressed down on him. He had never sought adventure. He had never desired power. And yet the universe had chosen him, or at least called him. The Queen's eyes held his, unwavering. I am not asking you to fight wars. I am not asking you to conquer planets. I am asking you to help me. Help the galaxy see what humanity is capable of. Help me show them the strength that lies in kindness, courage, and understanding. That is your gift. He swallowed hard. He could not deny the pull he felt. The memory of the past, the weight of her trust, and the promise of something greater than himself, it all combined to create a decision that felt bigger than any fear. I will go, he said finally, his voice steady. Not because I am strong, not because I am brave, but because I want to help, and because you trusted me once. The queen's smile was radiant. That is enough. That is all I ask. You will not need to fight or command. Simply be human. That is your greatest strength. For the first time, Adrian understood something profound. Humans were never meant to dominate. Humans were meant to connect, to inspire, to bring hope where others saw only despair. And if that was enough to change an empire, maybe it was enough to change the galaxy. The queen extended her hand once more. Then come with me, Adrian. Let us return. Let us see what humanity can do among the stars. He hesitated for a moment, glancing down at his quiet town. His life would never be the same. He would leave behind everything familiar, stepping into a universe full of wonder, danger, and responsibility. And yet, he felt ready. Taking a deep breath, he placed his hand in hers. The moment their fingers touched, a warmth spread through him, as if the universe itself recognized their bond. The queen smiled, and her ship began to glow, rippling with light as if it were alive. Slowly, it lifted from the street, carrying both human and queen into the waiting sky. As the earth fell away beneath them, Adrian felt awe and excitement in equal measure. He was leaving behind a simple life, but he was stepping into something far greater. The stars stretched before him, vast, mysterious, and alive. The queen spoke softly, her voice carrying through the ship. You see, Adrian, the galaxy remembers kindness. The galaxy respects courage. And the galaxy fears what humans can do when they believe in themselves. You will see soon enough. Others will underestimate you. They always do. But that is their mistake. And we will show them what they have missed. Adrian nodded, still holding her hand. He did not yet know what challenges awaited him. He did not yet understand the full weight of the galaxy. But he knew one thing clearly. Humans were not ordinary. Humans were powerful in ways no alien could understand. And with the queen at his side, he felt ready to face anything. The ship moved faster, leaving the familiar blue of Earth behind, diving into the vastness of space. Stars glittered like diamonds, and distant planets spun silently in their orbits. Adrian looked out amazed and realized that he had never truly seen the universe before, not even in books, not even in dreams. And he understood why the queen had come for him. Not for power, not for domination, not for war, but for something far greater, to remind the galaxy that humanity, in all its quiet, humble strength, could inspire hope where none seemed possible. Somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, he smiled, feeling a strange peace. He was human, yes. Ordinary, yes. But also extraordinary. And together with the queen, he would show the galaxy exactly what that meant. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and Adrian felt the pull of destiny, of adventure, and of a future waiting to be written. Not by weapons, not by empires, but by the quiet courage of one human who had once shown a queen the meaning of hope. And as the ship moved forward, Adrian realized the first truth of his journey. Sometimes, being human was enough to change the universe. The ship moved faster than anything Adrian had ever imagined. Stars blurred past them, glowing streaks of light in every direction. The hum of the vessel was soothing, a gentle rhythm that seemed alive. The queen stood at the front of the cockpit, her eyes focused on the stars ahead, and yet, somehow, she remained aware of Adrian beside her. Adrian, she said softly, the galaxy is watching us. Others will notice that I am returning with you, he frowned. Others who? The Council of Stars, leaders of many empires, they see humans as insignificant, weak, and easily controlled. But that is a mistake. They will fear what they do not understand. Adrian felt a chill. He had left Earth, leaving behind his ordinary life, and now he was being told that he might become the center of attention for alien empires. He wanted to ask questions, but the Queen's presence filled the silence with authority, yet not with intimidation. "Do they want to harm Earth?" he asked cautiously. "Some do," she admitted. "They will try to control it. Some wish to observe, some wish to conquer. But they will learn that humans are different. That is why I brought you. You are the key." Adrian looked down at his hands. He had never held a weapon in his life. He had never led anyone. He had barely even traveled beyond his city. And yet the weight of the galaxy now rested on his shoulders. "How can I help?" he asked quietly. "You already have," the Queen replied, a faint smile on her lips. "Humans think differently. They see solutions that others overlook. They connect in ways others cannot. That is their strength, and the galaxy will soon see it too." Hours passed as the ship approached a region of space where stars seemed closer together, forming clusters of light like sparkling cities in the void. The Queen guided Adrian through maps and coordinates, explaining the positions of worlds, alliances, and empires. "You see," she said, pointing to a glowing planet, "the Zalari, one of the oldest civilizations in the galaxy, underestimate humans. They believe that their technology and fleets make them unbeatable, but they do not understand ingenuity, courage, or the unexpected." Adrian tilted his head. "You mean humans could actually influence them?" "Yes," she said. "A single human, properly understood, can inspire change. When I faced them before, it was your ideas, your thoughts, your perspective that helped me. You taught me to see beyond strategy and power. You taught me to see what truly matters, and the galaxy noticed." Adrian felt a strange sense of pride, mixed with fear. He was just a man from Earth, yet the Queen's words carried a truth he could not deny. Humans were underestimated, and that underestimation would become their advantage. Their ship slowed as they approached the first observation point near a massive trade route. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved through the lanes, many with weapons and shields designed to intimidate. The Queen's ship moved silently, almost invisible among the giants of steel and energy. "Watch closely," she said. "The Zalari patrol these lanes daily. They control trade, information, and even distant worlds. And yet humans would surprise them." Adrian's eyes widened. "Surprise them? How? I don't even know how to fight or negotiate with them." The Queen laughed softly, a sound that was both musical and warm. "No, Adrian. Humans do not fight like others. They do not conquer with force. They influence. They persuade. They solve problems where others see none. That is why the Zalari fear humans more than armies." Adrian studied the traffic of ships below. It was a complex web, chaotic yet organized. The Queen tapped a few controls, sending signals and messages. Within minutes, the humans' influence began to show, not through weapons, but through clever manipulation of systems, understanding of patterns, and foresight that no Zalari mind had expected. "You see," the Queen said, pointing, "humans see what others overlook. They adapt. They learn. They connect the dots in ways others cannot. And that is why you will help me change the galaxy, not by force, but by thought, by courage, and by humanity." Adrian nodded slowly. He began to understand that human strength was not in domination, but in subtlety, in intelligence, in empathy. And that realization made him feel powerful in a way he had never known. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up unusual activity. A fleet of Zalari warships approached rapidly, scanning the space. Red lights blinked across their hulls, signaling recognition, or perhaps suspicion. "They see us," the Queen said calmly. "They know I have returned, and they are curious, cautious, perhaps fearful. But you, Adrian, will show them that humans are not what they expect." Adrian swallowed hard. "What should I do?" "Observe first," she said. "Then use what you know. Humans often succeed when they act with reason, creativity, and care. That is all I ask." Minutes later, they were detected. A holographic message appeared from the lead Zalari ship. A commanding figure, tall and armored, spoke in a language that was harsh and metallic. The translation flickered on the screen. Queen of Solara, we see your return. Who is the human with you? Explain your presence or face immediate action. Adrian's heart raced. He had never faced authority like this, but the queen's calm presence steadied him. You have nothing to fear, she said, placing a hand gently on his shoulder. Speak the truth. Humans are honest, that is your strength. Taking a deep breath, Adrian stepped forward. I am Adrian, he said firmly. I am a human from Earth. I have traveled with the Queen to help, not to fight. Humans are not here to conquer. We are here to offer understanding, to connect, and to show that trust and cooperation can achieve what weapons cannot. The Zalari commander hesitated. No human had ever addressed them directly before, and certainly none had dared to speak so boldly. The calm confidence in Adrian's voice was unexpected. The Queen nodded approvingly. Yes, humans do not fight to dominate. They inspire, they create, they solve. That is why I brought him. The Zalari commander studied Adrian and the Queen. After a tense silence, he finally spoke. Your presence is unusual. We will observe, but any threat will be met with immediate action. Adrian exhaled quietly. He had survived. Not by weapons, not by strategy, but by being human, by speaking honestly, with courage and with understanding. The Queen smiled at him. See, you have already begun to change how the galaxy sees humans. Adrian felt a new confidence. He realized that humans' real power was not in ships or armies, but in their minds, their hearts, and their ability to think beyond fear. He could influence worlds simply by being human. Over the following days, the Queen and Adrian traveled to other regions of space, observing alien civilizations, studying conflicts, and quietly applying human ingenuity. Every interaction showed the same pattern. Humans were underestimated, dismissed, and yet their actions had far-reaching consequences. In one system, Adrian helped negotiate a trade dispute between two alien races. He did not use force or authority or even threats. He simply listened, asked questions, and suggested solutions that respected both sides. Within hours, the conflict was resolved peacefully. The aliens were astonished. Humans are strange, one alien remarked. They have no fleets, yet they control outcomes. No armies, yet they influence entire systems. It is unsettling. Adrian smiled quietly. It's just who we are, he said. We try to solve problems, not make them worse. The Queen watched him, pride and admiration shining in her eyes. Yes, that is why I chose you. That is why humans will change the galaxy, not by force, but by heart, by mind, and by courage. As they continued their journey, news of their travels spread across the stars. Some empires dismissed humans as insignificant, others began to worry. And in every corner of the galaxy, the legend of the human who changed empires began to grow. Adrian knew their journey was far from over. Forces would test them. Others would challenge humans, not with weapons, but with cunning, politics, and manipulation. And yet he felt ready. Humans had survived countless challenges on Earth. Now, in the vastness of space, they would do it again, using nothing but their mind, their courage, and their humanity. And in that moment, Adrian understood a truth deeper than anything he had ever known. Humans were not weak. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and resilient, and that made them dangerous in the most extraordinary way. As the Queen guided the ship toward the next star system, Adrian looked out at the endless expanse of the galaxy. He felt a sense of purpose, a connection to something far greater than himself. The stars were no longer distant points of light. They were opportunities, challenges, and lessons waiting to be discovered. The galaxy had underestimated humans for centuries, but that mistake would soon become its greatest regret. Adrian squeezed the Queen's hand, feeling the warmth of her presence. I understand now, he said softly. I may be human, but that is enough. The Queen smiled. It is more than enough, it is everything. And with that, the ship surged forward into the unknown, carrying the human and the Queen toward challenges, adventures, and victories that no one in the galaxy could yet imagine. For the first time in centuries, humans were no longer on the sidelines. They were at the heart of the stars, ready to show the universe what they could do, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The ship moved silently through the star clusters, carrying Adrian and the Queen deeper into the galaxy. Everywhere they went, whispers followed them. Aliens in distant systems spoke of the human who had changed empires, of the Queen who returned not with armies but with a single human by her side. Many laughed, many doubted, some feared, but all watched. Adrian sat beside the Queen in the command room, watching the stars stream past. He had grown in ways he never imagined. Each day in space had taught him new ways to think, new ways to observe, new ways to solve problems. And yet, the weight of responsibility pressed on him. "Are we ready?" he asked quietly. "For whatever comes next." The Queen looked at him, her eyes full of certainty. "We are not just ready, we are humans, and that is more than enough." Their next stop was the core system of the Arikari, a race known across the galaxy for their strict rules, sharp minds, and suspicion of outsiders. The Arikari had been watching the Queen's movements, waiting for a chance to challenge her, and to test the human who traveled with her. As the ship entered the system, holographic messages appeared from the Arikari Council. The voices were cold, formal, and unyielding. "Queen of Solara, your presence is noted. You bring a human. Explain this action or leave immediately. Any deviation will be considered a violation of our treaties." Adrian's pulse quickened. He had faced alien authority before, but the Arikari were different. They were precise, ruthless in logic, and unyielding. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but would unpredictability survive here? The Queen turned to him. "Do not fear, observe, speak. Humans have changed systems before without violence. That is your power, use it." Adrian nodded. He took a deep breath, recalling everything he had learned. Honesty, empathy, courage, and careful observation, these were his tools. Not weapons, not armies, not threats, just himself. Stepping forward, he addressed the council. "I am Adrian, a human from Earth. I travel with the Queen because humans do not conquer. We connect. We solve. We inspire. We do not threaten. We understand. The galaxy is complex, full of conflict, yes, but that is why humans matter. We do not dominate. We guide. We observe. We find solutions others cannot see." There was silence on the holographic feed. The Arikari Council exchanged messages with one another, their expressions unreadable. Adrian waited, calm yet alert. Finally, the lead council member spoke. "You speak with confidence, but words are easy. Proof is required. Humans claim uniqueness, yet they have no fleets of power. How can you demonstrate this so-called human strength?" Adrian nodded, as if he had expected the question. "You will see," he said simply. The Queen guided him to a nearby system where two alien worlds had been on the brink of conflict for decades. Both claimed ownership of the same mining asteroid, and both prepared fleets for battle. Humans had tried diplomacy before and failed. But Adrian had observed, learned, and now he had an idea. He studied the communications patterns, the logistics, and the schedules of the fleets. Using his understanding of logic and psychology, human logic, grounded in observation and creativity, he sent proposals, suggestions, and questions to both sides. He suggested exchanges, mutual benefits, and ways to achieve the same resources without conflict. Hours later, the fleets paused. Messages went back and forth. Slowly, the impossible happened. The two alien worlds agreed to share the asteroid's resources, dividing it in a way that neither had imagined possible. There were no victories, no losses, no war. Just a solution born from a human mind. The Queen smiled at Adrian. "Do you see? Humans do not need weapons to succeed. We solve problems where others see only obstacles." Adrian felt a surge of pride but also humility. I never imagined it could be this simple," he admitted. No armies, no threats, just understanding. Yes, she said, that is the essence of humanity. That is why I returned to Earth for you. That is why the galaxy must learn what humans can do. News of this resolution spread quickly. Across systems, alien races began to reconsider their assumptions about humans. Some feared them, some admired them, and some, quietly, began to seek alliances. Adrian began to see the power of human influence on a galactic scale. Not through war, but through cleverness, compassion, and intelligence. Every decision, every action, every suggestion created ripples that no empire had anticipated. And yet, challenges remained. Some empires refused to accept humans' unique approach. They tried to manipulate, to intimidate, and even to isolate Earth. But Adrian, guided by the Queen, found ways to outsmart them, not with force but with creativity. He predicted moves, offered compromises, and proposed solutions that left the other races no choice but to accept. In one tense encounter, the Volari, a fleet known for their rigid hierarchy and obsession with power, tried to trap the Queen's ship in a blockade. They expected fear, surrender, or negotiation using intimidation. Instead, Adrian observed patterns in their fleet movements, suggested subtle reroutes and signals, and coordinated a peaceful passage. The Volari were baffled. No human had ever done this before. One Volari admiral muttered to a colleague, "Their strength is impossible. They are not soldiers, not rulers, yet they shape outcomes more than any fleet could." Adrian's face remained calm, but inside he felt exhilaration. Humans were showing their value, and the galaxy could no longer ignore them. Weeks passed. Earth remained protected, yet connected. Humans had gained respect without firing a single weapon, without threatening any world. Alliances formed, conflicts resolved, and slowly the galaxy began to adapt to the human way of thinking. The Queen looked at Adrian one evening as they drifted among stars. "You see now," she said, "humans are more than others believe, and yet this is only the beginning. You have not led armies, nor conquered worlds, nor commanded fleets. You have simply acted as a human. That is your power." Adrian nodded. He had never felt more certain of anything. "It's incredible," he said. "We can really change things, and we don't need to fight. We just think and care and act." "Exactly," the Queen said. "Humans do not dominate, they inspire, they guide, they bring balance where others see only chaos." As they traveled back toward Earth, Adrian realized something profound. Humanity's power was not measured in weapons, technology, or fleets. It was measured in courage, creativity, empathy, and resilience. And now the galaxy was beginning to recognize it. When they arrived near Earth, the Queen hovered above Adrian's hometown. The town below was peaceful, quiet, unaware of the galactic events that had taken place above. Adrian looked down and felt a surge of pride for his people. Humans had survived countless challenges on their planet, war, famine, disaster, and now they were ready to step onto a larger stage. The Queen looked at him, her eyes soft but determined. "This is your home, Adrian, but it is also the heart of the galaxy. The universe has underestimated humans for centuries. That mistake ends now." Adrian smiled. "We'll show them what humans can do, not with fear, not with force, but with courage, intelligence, and heart." The Queen extended her hand. "Then let us return, not as conquerors, but as guides. Humanity will lead the galaxy, not through domination, but through example, and the stars will remember it." Adrian took her hand, feeling the warmth and certainty of her presence. Together they looked out at Earth and beyond, knowing that the galaxy was watching. Humanity would rise, not as tyrants or rulers, but as problem solvers, peacemakers, and beacons of hope. In the days that followed, humans began to interact with alien civilizations, slowly, carefully. They offered solutions, shared ideas, and taught what they knew about cooperation, creativity, and resilience. And everywhere they went, their influence spread. For the first time, humans were not just survivors. They were leaders, not in power but in principle, and that leadership, quiet and intelligent, reshaped the galaxy. Adrian stood beside the Queen on the bridge of her ship, looking out at the stars. "It's amazing," he said. "All of this because humans refused to be just ordinary, because we believed in something bigger than ourselves." The Queen nodded. "Yes, humans do not conquer the galaxy, they heal it, they inspire it, and now the galaxy finally sees the truth." Adrian smiled, feeling the weight of centuries on his shoulders and yet feeling light with hope. Humans had been underestimated for too long, and now they were at the heart of the stars, ready to show the universe their greatest strength, humanity itself. And somewhere across the galaxy, every alien who had doubted humans whispered the same words: "They are not what we thought, and we cannot ignore them." The Queen turned to Adrian, her voice soft but firm. "You changed my life once, Adrian, and now you have changed the galaxy. Humanity will never be overlooked again." He looked out at the stars, at Earth below, and finally understood. Humans were not ordinary. Humans were extraordinary, and the universe would never forget it.